Welcome to Shaq's house. Shaq's house. That's our Shaq. You're now in Shaq's house.
Hey, what's up, Shaq Housers? How you doing? It's your boy Shaq House here. Oh yeah, check this out. Look at this Weathermen hoodie. Weathermen. For all you underground hip-hop fans out there, I know y'all remember the Weathermen from 20 years ago. Copyright, Cage, and whatnot. And shout out to Man Bites Dog Records for this right here. Thank you for that. Today, here's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about a real obscure mutant character group from the 90s. I mean, they haven't appeared since 93, for God's sakes. And whatever Peter David, who created them, intended to do with them, God knows, you may have to ask him. He may not even remember what he wanted to do with them. But in any case, we're going to be talking about the X-Patriots. Who? Yeah, that's right. That's what you're probably thinking right now. Who? Check it out.
Alright, here's some background on the X-Patriots. When the mutant slave island known as Genosha saw its government and high-standard economy collapse following the events of the Extinction Agenda, several mutant refugees they fled the country, seeking political asylum and several others before arriving in America. To prevent an international mutant incident, the government-sponsored X-Factor team accompanied the refugees, who the media then dubbed as the X-Patriots, both to and from Genosha to provide proof of the island's change. Following a hostage incident at a hospital, the X-Patriots were ultimately transported back to Genosha, where they were intended to act as liaisons between the mutant population and the new Genoshan government. But between the advent of the legacy virus and the eruption of the Genoshan Civil War, one can safely assume that those intentions fell through. There were actually several members of the X-Patriots, at least 8 of them, and many were former Genoshan mutates, but only the following 4 members were given prominence, starting with Prodigal. Prodigal has the mutant ability to create anti-magnetic energy waves that induce corrosion in metallic substances. Simply by gesturing from a distance, he can cause any metal to disintegrate or anything containing metallic parts to break down into smaller, unworkable pieces. He's black, literally big-headed, and seemed like a parody of Magneto given the nature of his power and his take-charge personality. His code name makes sense given his tendency for lavish speeches, and he seemed to have a rapport with both Havoc and Polaris. Pirouette. Pirouette is a mutant with the ability to rotate her body around its lengthwise axis at superhuman speeds. She can spin as fast as 400 revolutions per minute and still speak, hear, and perceive her environment while spinning. Her power makes it possible for her to move along the ground in any direction at superhuman speeds while stirring up high-velocity winds in an air funnel around herself. This wind effect can lift her up off the ground and can be redirected by her body motion to send cyclonic blasts of compressed air towards her opponents or create secondary funnels to sweep them off the ground without tiring appreciably. While spinning, Pirouette cannot be touched or caught due to the tremendous angular momentum created by her rotation. Also, her sense of balance is no longer determined by her inner ear's semicircular canals, but seems to be derived from her sight. She's also black, loves dancing, hence her code name. Of everybody in X-Factor, she got along with Strong Guy, and they went dancing together at a New York club, and she even brought him to visit her grandmother in Genosha. With her power, she's among the ranks of mutant spinners such as Riptide from the Marauders and Whirlwind from the Masters of Evil. Lukas. Lukas is a mutant psychoactive shapeshifter. He can psionically scan the minds of other people, drawing on their phobias, fears, and nightmares as a template for his morphing ability. His powers have no physical limitations, only those of his victims' imaginations. Lukas has transformed himself into giant dragons and perfectly duplicated the scorpion-like cyborg body of Cameron Hodge. Also, Lukas has full conscious knowledge of the horrors that he draws from the minds of others, and is able to sift through them and choose a form most suitable for the situation. He's the most reactive of the bunch. Whereas someone like Danny Moonstar can merely project psychic holograms of your greatest fear, Lukas can actually turn into it with full knowledge of why you fear it. Strangely, Him and Quicksilver, they got along wonderfully. Taylor. Taylor's mutant ability is to generate an unknown energy substance referred to as cold fire. Though it supposedly does not burn, the cold fire expels from Taylor's hands looking much like normal fire, at which point it takes shape as sculptures formed from Taylor's imagination. These sculptures became physically solid after creation, but tended to remain surrounded by an aura of fire and apparently were not subject to gravity. Honestly, his power makes no sense, but that aside, he's a Scottish mutant who was clearly poised to be a Genoshan mutate. He's got the skin suit, the shaved head, and the number 687, but did not undergo the mutate bonding process apparently. He was beaten by humans in Central Park for using his powers, and his compatriots' reaction to his hospitalization is what got them all sent back to Genosha. Him and Wolfsbane, they shared a Scottish heritage, so she latched onto him. Okay, some thoughts on the X-Patriots. They were created by Peter David during his first run on X-Factor, and they haven't been seen since X-Factor number 89, which was Peter David's last issue during his initial run. During that time, crossovers such as the Executioner's Song and the Fatal Attractions crossover, they interrupted Peter David's plans for the characters. It was known that he wasn't a fan of crossovers and decided to leave the X-Factor title right before Fatal Attractions began. So whatever plans David had for the X-Patriots left with him as well, and they haven't been seen or mentioned since then. The concept was abandoned just in time for the long-running Legacy Virus storyline, but between that, Blood Ties, Cassandra Nova's Sentinels, and Krakoa, the X-Patriots, they're stuck in comic book limbo. Alright folks, that's what I got for you this week. Next week, I'll be doing something a little bit less obscure, but tune in then, and I hope you have a good weekend. Later!
Mansion, apartment.
Shack, house. Yes!